Hey guys, this is Dr. Jason Shumard with Integrative Wellness Center of San Diego and also the author of How to Reverse Your Diabetes. And today the topic I want to discuss, which is a very common thing that I see not only with our current practice members, but some of the individuals that we meet as initial consultations, but more importantly, what is commonly being told, the misinformation, if you will, or I refer to as the pitfalls of type 2 diabetes. So we're going to talk about a few of these, which I think is massively important, because I guarantee some of you who are dealing with a condition like diabetes, you are focusing on some of these pitfalls, and unfortunately, if you continue to do that, it's going to drive problems and make you get worse over time. So let's just jump right into these because I think they're massively important, and we'll talk about each one and why they are so important, that you really start to move away from the mindset that's this common misconception that you're being given through the traditional health model, through Dr. Google, and even maybe from some of your colleagues or other individuals who are trying to give you information about your diabetes. So the first one, the number one pitfall that I see is blood sugar. And I know some of you are thinking like, what? What do you mean? That's the problem. That's why I have diabetes. And unfortunately, that is a misconception. See, when you focus 100% on blood sugar and you're doing things to try to lower blood sugar, you're only trying to lower the symptom. See, the blood sugar that you're dealing with, the elevated blood sugar, is not the cause of why you have diabetes. It is a symptom of your diabetic condition. Now let that sink in a little bit there. Because that common misconception is, if I just get down my blood sugar, then my diabetic condition is going to go away and I can get off my medication. But I guarantee there are some of you right now that are watching this video or maybe you've known somebody in your life that has diabetes, that is, has their blood sugars under control or they're managed, but they're still taking medication. Or what's even crazier is that some of those individuals, if they have their blood sugars being managed, they still have complications of diabetes. They may still have the neuropathies. Maybe their doctor's already amputated a toe. Maybe they have cardiovascular issues and they're taking a blood pressure medication or a cholesterol lowering medication. Maybe they've had some problems with their vision, or their kidneys are starting to become problematic as well. How is it possible that if your blood sugars are truly the cause of your diabetic condition, if you bring your blood sugars down and you work your tail off and your doctor says, fantastic, your blood sugars are being managed, how is it possible to still have complications? And the reason why it's possible is because the blood sugars are not the cause. The cause will still be there, the problem will still be there, which is going to be contributing to the other symptoms and other issues or complications of the diabetic condition. So we have to focus on what the cause is and not the symptom, which is blood sugar. Number two is focusing completely on diet. Again, what is the diet going to do? If you eat properly, well, let's back up here just real quickly. Shouldn't we all be eating some quality of food? We need to stay away from the fast foods, the bad fats, eating too much sweets and sugars. We should all be doing this. Number one, how is that specific to diabetes? It's not. By doing that, by reducing your sugars, your carbohydrates, eating better quality food, what's that going to do? It's going to address blood sugar. It's going to try to decrease the blood sugar. So just focusing on the diet alone is then going to only focus on the symptoms. So even by changing your diet, you're still only focusing on the symptoms. By changing your diet is not going to get to the root cause of why you have diabetes. So if you're eating healthy right now and you're frustrated because your blood sugars are coming down, but your doctor's telling you still have to stay on medication, it's because whatever the underlying problem is that caused your diabetes in the first place is still there. And unless you find out what that is, it's going to become more and more frustrating. Number three, focusing on exercise, right? Of course, another scenario. Shouldn't we all be exercising? Isn't it good for all of us to keep, to have good cardiovascular, to maybe do some weight training to help our muscles and joints? How is that going to impact specific to diabetes? It's not. What is it going to address? Trying to reduce blood sugar. Again, addressing the symptom only and not addressing the underlying cause. Number 4 is weight loss. If I can spell it. So how many of you have been told by your doctors, healthcare practitioners, other individuals you're working with, that the cause of your diabetes is because you have too much weight? You need to lose the weight. You need to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 100 pounds, whatever it might be. And if you do that, it's going to help you and you're going to be able to reverse your diabetes. Again, let's back up even further. Shouldn't we all be keeping a good weight? Shouldn't we all be focusing on our body and making sure we're not overweight, too much fat, those sort of things? Of course. How is it specific to diabetes? It's not. What is weight loss going to focus on? Decreasing blood sugars. So many times someone may get, the sleeve or stomach stapling, shortening the stomach, and the person loses a bunch of weight and their blood sugars come down and they're like, oh my gosh, fantastic. And maybe they even get off medication. But then what happens a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years later? The problem comes back again. They're back on the medication. They're back on the problems again, and they still haven't really gained any weight, except for now they've got stomach issues, digestive issues, absorption issues, things of that nature. They can't eat enough food. They don't feel good when they eat. Now they've just got problems in their guts at this point. So again, the focus was trying to lose the weight, which is important, but it's only focusing on trying to reduce the blood sugars. So the underlying problem for those people eventually catches up. The problem comes back, the diabetic condition comes back, they get sicker and sicker, and the problem continues. The last one is focusing on meds, thinking that the medication is going to fix the problem as well. The medication is focused on doing what? You got it. Decreasing blood sugar. So all of the focus that you're being told, right, to lower your blood sugar, change your diet, exercise, lose weight, make sure you take your medications, all of it is focused on trying to reduce the blood sugar. And as I mentioned from the beginning, your blood sugar is not the cause of your diabetic condition, it is the symptom of your diabetes. It's like saying, okay, hey, what if you have a bacterial infection? And the doctor says, well, you've got a fever, you've got a sore throat, runny nose, and we're just going to focus on the fever, runny nose, and sore throat and let that bacterial infection get worse inside your body. I mean, how foolish does that sound? No, we want to give you an antibiotic to take care of the infection so it goes away, so all your symptoms, the fever, runny nose, and sore throat, goes away. Doesn't that make sense? Well, the same thing happens with diabetes. So right now, the focus in most treatments is trying to get this under control. That's why when you go get a blood test run, they're running your hemoglobin A1C, they're looking at your fasting glucose, maybe your median glucose. We're looking at those things, but we're never focusing on what is causing the elevated blood sugar. The conversation is never, okay, you have a diagnosis of diabetes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to run comprehensive testing to find out what is going on under the surface to what is causing your inability to regulate your blood sugar, what is causing your blood sugars to go high. Why are these things happening inside your system? We're going to put together a customized approach for you to reduce this problem and get you healthy again. How many times have you had that conversation with someone from your traditional medical model? Probably never, right? Because the focus is the same. Even if you go to one of their dietitians or nutritionists, the food that intake you're being told to do is being told to everyone else. Maybe there's 20, 30 people in the room, and they're all being told to eat the same, this much of carbs and this much of protein and this much of that. It's not specific. When you're dealing with diabetes or any other health condition for that matter, you have to find out what is going on specifically in your body, right? So when we talk about helping individuals in our practice, we have a three-step approach. The first step is to find out, to discover what is going on. What is specifically happening to that individual? We look at all the different tissues and organs that are involved in blood sugar regulation. Are they working efficiently? How is the immune system functioning? Is there toxicity? Is there stress? What's going on? Is there inflammation happening in the body? And what is driving that whole dysfunction? Once we know what that is, then we can disseminate that information and pull it into the next stage, which is the optimization phase, which requires customization. Has to be customized in how you should be eating, what type of protocol should be doing. Not just, oh, let's take berberine, not just cinnamon, chromium, whatever it might be to help lower blood sugar, because those are focused on blood sugar, which is where you're going to find from Dr. Google. What we're going to address is the specific organs, tissues, and systems in the body and help it get into a place that it's in an environment that healing can take place again. Get it back into a homeostasis. And once we've fully optimized everything, we then can move into the next phase, which is the excel or the sustain phase. So we're going to help that individual sustain that lifestyle and teach them to continue living that way so they never go back to this again. So they're not going down that yo-yo effect of, oh, this keeps coming back. My diabetes keeps coming back and goes away. I don't know how to eat. I don't know what to do. And the reason for that is because you haven't been evaluated appropriately. So hopefully we talk about these specific pitfalls that I guarantee that most of you are doing right now. It makes sense to start looking elsewhere to find out what else could be going on with you. And unfortunately, in the traditional model, you're not going to find this. You've got to find someone in a functional health model or functional medicine model. These doctors, like myself, are trained to analyze appropriately, to comprehensively test, to disseminate the information, and put together the right customized protocols for the individual to help them reverse their diabetes, which is the reason why I wrote my book, How to Reverse Your Diabetes, because it has to be specific to the individual. Listen, if this information today was worth it for you, if you felt that this content was valuable, make sure you like our page, because if you like our page, next time I do a video, it'll alert you to make sure you attend the live video. Worst case scenario, you can go to our YouTube page. You can search for our office, Integrative Wellness Center of San Diego. You can see all of my videos that I put on there in regards to diabetes and how we help individuals get better to reverse their diabetes, where we help them reduce and eliminate medications, lose weight with little to no exercise, and reduce the risks of future complications and an early death. I've been doing this now for 17 years. We know exactly what we're doing. We know how to customize the protocols for the individual. Maybe someone in your network deserves and needs to watch this video. So please share it to your network, share it to individuals so they can get that information.